All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the 41st episode of the Political Spotlight, and I want to let you guys all know right up front here at the head of the show, we weren't supposed to be on tonight. However, earlier in the week, maybe even as early as last week, I had been in contact with a current candidate running for office in Muncie, running for re-election. And we decided that he would have availability for this evening. So I said, yes, we will interview with you. And I guess Josh had, on the civic duty side, had homecoming tonight. So that's why he wasn't on. So we're on here and we're going to be doing a candidate interview. Earlier in the day, as you know, what we've been doing is we've been doing a candidate interview at the front of the show, and then afterwards we've been jumping on and doing a regular show. And I didn't plan on doing that. I was just going to do a candidate interview, and then after that was up, that was going to be the end of the show. However, Brandon called me and said, hey, I'm really concerned about something that's going on, and if you're not going live tonight, I think I'm going to jump on and talk about this. And I was like, well, I've got a candidate interview. So he was like, well, I'll jump on at the end and we can chat about these issues. So we have a very Muncie-centric show again this evening. We're going to be talking to a Muncie candidate, the current councilor for District 3, Brandon Garrett, Democrat councilman. He's running for re-election, obviously, to District 3. So we're going to be talking to him, and then after that, Brandon's going to jump on, and we're going to be talking about another situation in Muncie, a kind of a creepy situation that the current administration let us all know about today. So we'll be talking about that. But before we get into all of that, please, as we do, I want to ask that you up front do all of the YouTube things. If you haven't already liked the show, please like this episode. If you're watching and you are not a subscriber, we would love for you to be a subscriber. It's absolutely free. You can subscribe for free. Doesn't cost you a dime. So if you do that, that would be fantastic. And then hit the bell so you stay up to date whenever we release videos or content, because I tricked you this morning. I released a video first thing this morning as well. So that was a static recorded video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we're going to bring on Mr. Brandon Garrett and see what he has to say. Here. Hello.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right, doing well. How about yourself, sir?
Good. I've watched the show a lot. It's awesome to finally be on.
Yeah, right. Well, I know we've talked a couple different times about having you on, for various issues, and we've just played phone tag or one thing or another. So I'm glad to have you on. and I'm glad that you're definitely interviewing. So how I tell you, you've got like what? Are you counting down the days yet? Like, are there 38 or 39 days left? I believe.
Yeah, we're counting down the days.
Something
It's a
like that.
family affair, so yeah, we're all counting down. They enjoy it as much as I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I tell you, that's the thing. That's cutting teeth, doing the campaigns and going out and walking door to door, doing the parades and things like that. That's stuff that I absolutely loved doing when I was little, and it can, for as nerve wracking as it is, and for as crazy as it can be, it can also be a very fun experience. And so yeah, it's cool that you got the family involved and you're all taking a part in that.
Oh yeah, and I've been involved with politics, like you, my whole life. So I grew
Yeah.
up in the parades and getting out of school to work the polls and all that. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're currently a counselor on the Muncie City Council. You've actually, you weren't elected to the seat. You're one of the counselors that was caucused in when the counselor before you that was elected left office early. You've actually been on. You're the second longest that's been on. I think it was Roe and then you,
Yep.
correct?
Yes.
Okay, you've been on since January of 2021?
Yep.
Okay, all right. And so, this is you've ran for office before, but this is your first election. You were caucused in, and now you're running for reelection.
Mhm.
So tell me, just kind of from my perspective, from your end, how is it different running as someone who's got the seat compared to other races where you were a challenger running for the seat?
I always tell people winning an election has always been like I'd say a dream of mine, just because if you win the election, the people that are voting for you think you did the job the way that you should,
Yeah,
and that is very big to me. So I kind of look at it like I love being kind of the incumbent, but I look at it too as like this is my first election to win. Um,
okay.
I really want to, and I take pride in the city and the south side of town, and I really think the voters will come out for me. I think I've done my job well, and it's kind of different for me because, like I said, I'm coming into it like this is my first election to actually be voted on to the council and not caucus is a
Sure.
big it I don't feel different, but winning that election really solidifies that the citizens want you up there and want you to lead them.
Absolutely. That's yeah, and your I think the first candidate I spoke to was a district race, and the last two have been at large. So you're a little bit different because you're running in a district. So your race is a little bit more confined, which in a lot of ways is helpful
Yeah,
because you don't have to focus on the entire city. As an elected member, you represent the people of your district, but you also represent everybody in the city. But while you're running this race, you've just got to make, connection with the people within your area, which is what you'd call it like the southwest side of Muncie, kind of
yes,
the
yep,
Shedtown, Boxtown type
yeah.
area up through there. So, what have you heard from your citizens in that area as you've been out campaigning? I mean, what are some of the things that the citizens are wanting to see in the city of Muncie over the next several years?
Well, the big thing that I get is the roads and the sidewalks, and that brings up a lot, and then really too the safety of the issue with with a lot of the gun violence we've had going on and all that. They really that hits home. We had one not too far from here the other night on 8th Street, and it's it's close to home, and that's what we have, a very loyal district. A lot of the people have they rent we got a lot of renters, but we've got a lot of people that's lived here for a long time.
Yeah,
And the south side of town is very it's tight knit. It really is. And that's their big concerns is the roads, the sidewalks, and the safety. And I get a lot of we really want something done with right here at the end of 12th Street, right there where they were going to put the apartment complex. We're working to try to get something done with that. But the roads, the sidewalks, and safety is the biggest that I get from walking door to door.
So yeah, absolutely. I could definitely see that. You brought it up. Let me ask you, what is going on at the end of 12th Street there, because we know that the city was going to possibly bring in an apartment complex. I think that fell through, in my opinion, rightfully so. I don't think that was the good fit for the city. And so, right now that's just kind of hanging out there. Do you have any thoughts on what's going on with that part of town?
Yeah, we're up in the air there. It's to put it politely, it's very hard to really get any answers that I need from that over there. It's been on the record that we've had some DNR grants to go in to make Till Pond and all that, but it's kind of fell to the wayside. I think I can't even get it cleaned up. Now that we have that company owns that lot, they're liable for that cleaning up, which is mowing. Our grass fine is over 12 inches and it's, over 28 inches.
Right.
So right now I'm fighting tooth and nail to figure out what we are going to do over there, to get an answer for what we're going to do over there. And not just for me, but just for the citizens of Muncie too, because I believe we could put a park over there that everybody could use. I mean, I want a nice, beautiful park in my district, but I want one that the whole city can use. We've got it right by the overpass where you can come, from the north side of town and, enjoy it really right off the river too. But it's up in the air. I mean, I'm fighting tooth and nail to get something done over there. It butts right up to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, it's just an empty lot that we could do a lot with.
Well, I remember, I think it was maybe even last year where you brought that up. It was something that you were concerned with, having the administration working with, the code enforcement or whatever to come over and do something, because I know that there was an issue maybe with some, vagrants and maybe some drug use and whatnot. And that can turn into a very serious situation.
We're fighting with that still now. They're in and out of there all the time. All hours of the night. We've had cars broken into in the neighborhood, and they're running back in there. And what the big thing that gets me is the kids will take that sidewalk from Brookville Terrace to our neighborhood and go right into the Speedway, get a slushie, and walk back. And it's so overgrown that you can't see, and with the vagrants back there, you can't see your kids walking in the sidewalk to go, back and forth to the Speedway.
Yeah.
And, we will get it. We will get something done. Whatever I have to do, then I will do it. We will get something done over there. It's just, it needs to be just safe over there. I mean, if it's just going to be an empty lot, we need to at least clean it up. And I did bring it up in that council meeting, because when that got voted down, when it kind of sneakily got put in by, to the council and got voted down, and I believe it was the right vote for the neighborhood in the district and the city's taxpayers' money for that. It was the right rate to vote that down.
Right.
And I talked to the people at the company that we're going to build an apartment complex, and they had told me, as we all knew, they bought the land before even brought it to the council meeting. So, so after that council meeting, I knew right then and there, okay, well, I've got you on something now, because now you own the land. As I was a building commissioner for, 7 years. So as you own the land, now you're liable of the upkeep of the land.
Yeah.
So, I've been trying to get the grass cut back so we can see it. And Chris, there's a beautiful pond back there. There's so much potential back there for that land. There's a beautiful pond back there that we could stock and fish. It meets right up to the Justice Center's walkway. They just built that really nice bridge right there.
Yeah.
So endless opportunities. And I spoke with Jeff Robinson, and he has some. He told me he has some really good ideas with that will not go vacant if he's elected. And it's just, hopefully Jeff gets in there. I believe, and not just saying I'm backing Jeff because he's a Democrat. I believe that Jeff really loves the city, and that we'll see a lot more get done with someone that you can actually talk to, and say you have problems, and I believe they'll get done and we get the answers. So right now I'm trying to just fight tooth and nail to get something done over there.
Right. Well, you brought up Till Pond, and it's ridiculous that here we are, literally 2 months, a month and a half out from the election for this city election, and Till Pond has been something that this administration has been saying since their first year in office, and that's still, like, I knew when he said it was a joke, that it was just something that he was going to be holding over people's heads over there, and it was something that he would use, and every so often when he would need something from District 3, from the citizens of that side, it seems like he would hold Till Pond over their head, and here we are still being held over their head. And but besides Till Pond, there are a lot of other issues. I know people always talk about, you hear people talk about food deserts or various things. What are you guys trying to do as far as that, to fight with the administration or the MRC to bring, not necessarily a grocery store, but, markets or whatnot to the area, or do what needs to happen as far as that? There's just a lot of other promises that have been made. It always seems like promises are made for that side of town, but then they just always quickly fall through. And what's something that you can do, or you feel as a counselor for that district, to fight against that?
The fight against it is just to not keep your mouth shut. You've got to, we've been kind of forgot about. I don't like to say forgot about, but I'm going to. I mean, we've been forgot about over here, even through previous administrations. And when we decided to do this and run the first time, that was my big reason. That the youth center over here and the food deserts. We're forgot about. I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to fight over tooth and nail for the citizens of the South Side. And, the food deserts have been bad for us. It's terrible. We've got Mike Martin down here with the food market that's his doors, he can't keep food on the shelf fast enough to come off. It comes off so quick. We've got different and great locations that we could put at least some of a common market or something over here. A lot of those lots that we build that he gave for those houses to be built, I appreciate the houses being built, but one of those 16 lots that came in my district would have been great for a food market.
Right.
Just one of the 16. We are, and I hate it because he is the district, I think, that holds stuff over our head. Just like, it's not even Till Pond. We just now got our splash pad, 3 years later.
Yeah.
And right before fall, where the kids can't use it. And they, all over town got them before we did. And we were the last district to get our splash pad, and the kids can't even use it this summer. I'm really trying to also, we've got a great location. If we could figure something out with the old B&K root beer stand, there's endless opportunities there too. With the park there, we could put a pantry there and have the park, the splash pad, and all that, the amenities of Thomas Park right there on Hoyt. That's, really centralized for everybody in the district to come grab what they need. And it's just, 12th Street, it's just, there's so much endless opportunities, but I have to keep fighting. And it's a fight over here. It really is. We have a lot of stuff, but we could bring businesses over here. We could bring, we're right by the warehouse district too. So we've got quite a bit of, businesses in the warehouse district that come and we've got a lot more that we could bring over here. We just have to fight, and we have to have an administration that wants to build up the south side of town. Until I have that, I just have to keep fighting.
Let me ask you this, a question that producer Kate put up. Why do you think it's such a fight?
It's always been a fight, ever since I was a kid. It wasn't a fight. It was different when I grew up. We had Chivy, you had Borg Warner right over here. You had the Ross Center. We had all the gas stations from Blimpies and all that. And it's when that went out, and that was a big part of me because I grew up in here and seen the district when it was at its highest, which being New Venture Gear. And we had Marsh and the old Ross Hardware and all that. And when all that left, it just we took a hit the hardest because they all just left, and that they left the houses and moved. Then that added to our blighted house issue over here, and it's just always been a fight since then. And I don't know why. It's because we have the most diehard loving people over here. District 3 they vote too, and I don't understand why any constituent that's running for mayor would forget about it, because if you look at it, we are a loyal voting district.
Yeah.
We're always voting at the Ross Center, and then we voted at Forest Park before they kind of changed that to combine it with the Ross Center. So I don't know why. It's just we're always the last to get anything and the last to hear about anything. And that was my big concern when we ran, was to make us not last, to make us not forgot about, and to make the fight not as hard to bring businesses over here, because the south side of town has a lot to offer. Sure. And we've got a lot of different buildings. If we had administration we could work with to get a lot done. We have the old Lee's building, that's right there on the corner, and we've just got so much to offer. And I don't know why it's such a fight, but it is. And it's you can't, I don't ever tell anybody anything that I can't do or I won't do. It's very straight up. Either I can give you this answer or we can find out. And I get a lot of that because I don't get a lot of answers, and I fight and I fight and I fight. And I don't know why, Chris, to answer that question, I don't know why it's such a problem. And it has been, but I can promise you that my team is not going to let that be the answer anymore. It's going to be, look what's on the south side of town. This got brought here. And, it's not just for me. It's for when I'm gone, that we can put a blueprint in here where we can bring life back into the south side of town.
Absolutely. For the folks that are wondering, I know a couple people have asked, I want to put this up. The district that he is representing is the blue side of the map here. I know it's not as close up as I would like it. I was trying to do better, but I couldn't really get it any better. Basically, it's the southwest side of Muncie. So the road that you're seeing here is Hoyt running out, and no, wait a minute, that's not Hoyt. That's Kilgore.
Yeah, we do.
That's running that way.
Yeah.
Hoyt is a little bit further this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit far away, but basically it's the southwest side of Muncie. So it's District 3 is the blue side of the map down there. So that's the district in which he is running in. What's the white rectangle? The white rectangle is county owned land.
Mm-hmm.
It's just area that is up off of it's like I don't know what you'd call it. It's just kind of a grassland area up on the northwest side of the city. It's nothing. So okay. So one of the things that I have asked everyone so far, and I'm going to continue asking the candidates that come forward, is I think for the last couple of years, you guys have had in this council, basically from January 2020 through December 31st of this year, you guys have had a pretty cohesive council. I know it's been 5-4 Republican Democrat, but I did a thing earlier this year where we went through and looked at all of the votes that this council has made for the entirety of this council's time on a up at bat. And essentially, even though it's 5-4, a majority of the votes have been 9-0, 8-1, 7-2. I mean, I think like 95% have been one of those three. So the majority of things you guys have voted on as a in unison, and you guys have done a pretty good job. We have had councils in the past that have been very hard to work with. They've been obstructionist. I think that the mayor probably thinks that you guys are obstructionist. I don't. I think you guys have been a good counsel for the citizens. I think you guys have been a good checks and balances against the mayor. That's getting ready to change. No matter what happens, the council is going to be changing. What do you feel that you have to offer the new council going forward? If the people do reelect you to the council, how do you feel that you can work with the new people, whether they come on and it's a Republican leaning council, or if you guys take control and it's a Democrat leaning council? How do you feel like you can help shape the council moving forward?
I feel I am on the council, and I have to commend everybody on the council. It has been very non-biased, very, there's we really find a way to work with each other. If, one of us don't like it or two of us don't like it, there's a way that we can always meet in the middle. And that's shown. We've done really good with working each other. I believe what I bring is I really don't myself. I don't really see. I don't pull party politics into our city stuff at all. I don't believe there's anything that we're going to vote on that we really need to pull party politics on. It's either I have a very easy way on the council, and this is just if it's right for the city and the taxpayers, then vote for it. If it's not, then don't. And that's how I would do. The new councilors come on if I get reelected. I would just say, you have to keep an open mind. You're your own person. There's 9 of us up there. We all vote on everything, and work together. The only way we get anything done is if we work together. The councils in the past, I know what you're talking about, did not work together. Nothing got done. We had 2-hour, 4 or 5 hour long meetings of people, going crazy and getting thrown out. There's no need for that. It's, we are elected officials. We need to do our job on the council as during the meetings and off. It's not just a once a month job. It's all the time, every day, and I would tell them, if your phone rings, you answer it, you respond to emails, you don't ever tell anybody something that you're going to do that you can't do. And you just keep an open mind. You work with everybody on the council, and there's always a way to find where it could make it work for the citizens, and you can make it work for the councilmen that, say something's going on in their district and they want it a certain way. We can meet in the middle. There's always a middle to meet in. And when that happens, you see a thriving council, which then returns, helps the taxpayers, and makes sure that we've got everything going the way that it needs to go. It's just very easy for me, it is to just do what's right. That's it. I always say if I get off of a council meeting or a phone call and I know my mom would be not happy with me, then I didn't do it right. Like it's just as simple as that. I always do it like my wife and my kids are watching me.
Yeah. Yeah. I can appreciate that. One of the things that I've asked a lot of the candidates and I'm concerned about is the budget process. In the past, it's been a 3-person process. They've used the finance committee. That's a 3-person committee to basically go through everything. This has been the first council where they've had all 9 members. Where do you stand on that? Like with this new council, would you push to keep it a 9-member involvement?
Yes, for sure. I love that we're all involved in every other, and everything. So we all need to be involved. 9 eyes on something are a lot better than 3.
Yeah.
And we're all part of it, and I like how we have the different budget meetings now. It gives the citizens a lot more time to get up and voice their opinion too. That way we're not blowing through it all in one council meeting where a lot of people don't get up and get to speak their mind before we vote on that. It's a very fair way for the citizens too, which that's what our job is. Yeah, our job is to be the fiscal body for the city, do it the way that the taxpayers need it done in the right way, and let them speak. They need to be able to come up and voice their concerns. And I believe the way we do it now with with all of us up there and the different meetings breaking down, two offices at a time is very well for us. And it's very well for the citizens to be able to understand it more too, because a lot of them might come to the meetings and not really understand what we're going through. But the way we break it down now, everybody's involved, which they should be, because it's the taxpayers' dollars paying for every dollar on that budget. So they should be involved in every line item in that budget.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I've never understood why they used to do it that way, and I'm really glad that that didn't start right away, because that's how they ran. A lot of them ran on that, but then the first year it didn't do that. It really only started that way when Jeff took over as president. So I really hope that's something that remains, and I hope that is something that I hope that's something that the next council continues to carry on.
Yeah, if I'm elected, I will definitely push for that to be carried on.
Good. That's okay. I like that. That's good. One thing that I can levy kind of criticism against the current council is there have been things that the administration has done in which they, for example, the mayor in the fall of 2020 went before the council in the budget process and said that he wanted a deputy mayor. Begged for the deputy mayor position, said he was swamped, he was doing too much work, he was drowning, and he needed to he needed some help there. Told the council that basically, if you guys give me this position, I will make sure that somebody is appointed to the deputy mayor position that is economically development inclined. And then, of course, we know what happened. He appointed Richard Ivey. Richard is not an economic development guru. For some reason, the mayor is still doing that. And one of the things that I was disappointed about, if I would have been a council person, I would have pushed during the next budget process, either you fix this or we're defunding the deputy mayor's position. Like, that's you have those choices. You can't lie to us. One of the questions is, how should Dan or any mayor be disciplined for violating city ordinances? I mean, you guys, it's checks and balances. The council's not over the mayor, but you guys do have some ways to push back as far as with the purse strings and whatnot. Do you think that the council should use those ways to put corrective measures on the mayor, whoever that might be, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. I believe the only way you learn from a mistake is if you get called out on it. And yes, we should push back. You should be held to a higher standard. You're the mayor of Muncie. We just seen it again with the contract negotiations that we wasn't involved in. We saw it there, clearly violating the city ordinance. But yeah, we should push back. That's what we're there to do. We need to push back because, like I go back to it, we are the fiscal body for the city. If we're not pushing back that a job's not getting done, but we're paying X amount of dollars for this person for the job getting done, why are we wasting taxpayers' dollars paying this person when the job's not getting done? That's not fair to the citizens. And that's our job to get up and voice that. So yes, I believe you should be pushed back. We all should. If I do something wrong, it's not going to go not pushed back. Someone's going to say something, rightfully as they should. And we as a council should too. We also are not just a fiscal body. We are the voice for each of our districts in the city meetings. And it is up to us to bring that up, bring that to light, even if it's just putting it on the minutes, that it's put on the minutes in the council meeting. It's still brought up and it's still on there.
It's on the record.
Yes. And so I believe that we definitely push back. That's the only way. I think pushback is how you you get resolved and maybe wake someone up, and it doesn't happen again, or they realize and they fix it. But yes, we need to push back. We need to let people know, when they're not doing right, and we also need to let people know when they are doing right. It goes both ways, but yes, we need to push back. We need to be voice for the citizens, because like that, your example with that job in the deputy mayor, that's taxpayers' dollars that
Sure.
we are elected to basically make sure that is done with what needs to be done with and correctly.
Very good. I tell you, I can definitely say, and I'll tell everyone listening, you're definitely, this council's been very good on that. I really don't have much complaint about many people. There are a couple things I can I can point to, but you're definitely one of them who has always spoke to me anytime you have went out of your way to walk up. You've given me your number when I didn't have it and said, "Hey, call me anytime." You've always been an open book. You've always been willing to have a conversation. You've always said, "Hey, if I'm doing something wrong, call me out."
Yeah.
So that's something that I can definitely appreciate. Because not everybody does that, so I definitely appreciate that from my standpoint, and I know that the viewers like to hear from you, and that's a good thing that the viewers should get to hear. Number one, from their elected officials, because you are an elected official, but hell, if you're a candidate running, you should want to talk to everybody because
Right.
you're out there begging for these people to vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely respect that. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like the people to know, or anything that you would like to bring up that we haven't maybe talked about?
I just, I, and I commend Steve Craig, because I always say that we always kind of go back and forth that who's the biggest, I always say that I'm diehard Southside, we go back and forth, but I just really just want the people to know that there's no like flashing lights with me. Like, I'm a normal, I grew up in Shedtown. We still live right. I'll never move out of here. And we've been blessed, I'll never move out. It's just normal. How I treat you is how I treat everybody.
Right.
Um, I believe that you have to be open. It's our job to, like you always say, it's transparency. That's what you have to have. And it's very easy, like I say, just to talk to somebody. On
Yeah.
my cards for the council, my personal cell phone number is on there. Call me. Like, you elected me to do this job. That's on and off the council. You call me all hours of the night, and I just want people to know that there's no persona with me. This is just, I'm the same person all the time. You
I
know,
agree.
just very, I love this city with all my heart.
Yeah.
I really do. I really like being part of the rebuild, of the party and the city too. And, I just want them to know that I will fight for every citizen in Muncie, but the South Side too. Like I said in the beginning, there's no more District 3 councilman that's going to keep their mouth shut. You have to be a voice. You have to bring it up, and you have to let them know that we're not going to take it anymore. Not on the
Absolutely.
side. We're not doing it. We're going to get stuff. We want it. We have the people over here that love this town, love this side of town. They're very loyal, and I'm ready to have them jump on my back, and we really get some good stuff done on the south side of town.
Very good. Well, I appreciate it, Brandon. I appreciate it. Your time. Thank you for coming on. You are always welcome to jump on anytime if you've got something that you want your district to know, or you want someone from the city to know. The citizens. You're more than welcome here anytime. Just ring me up, and you're welcome here. Like I've always said, I respect you, and I respect the work you're doing. I've for a while, I got to say that I have talked to a lot of people that, I know that you do a lot of work. When I say this, I don't mean in a bad or dirty or corrupt way. You do a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and what I mean by that is when you're not on the council, because you guys are only on the council once a month.
Right.
So a lot of the work you guys do is out of the record, off of the record. I know that you're making phone calls, and I know you're talking to city employees, and I know that you're doing a lot of work. And for the longest time, I called you the quiet beetle of the council, because you're kind of quiet, but you get, for lack of a better word, you get shit done.
Yeah.
And so I do have to say that I respect that about you, and I respect that, you're not somebody, you don't put on a facade, I guess. That's something, you are who you are on and off council, and I can respect the hell out of that. We need more people like that. I think a good counterpart to you is Troy on the Republican side. I think Troy is, you and Troy are a lot alike. Other candidates, Audie Barber's very similar to that. And, there might be people who say, well, this is not my idea of a candidate. But in my opinion, it's people like that make up the majority of what Muncie is like. We need men and women, white and black and Hispanic, or whatever else that makes up the city of Muncie, that makes up the majority of what people are, and that the people that can do the job and be themselves and be down to earth is what I like to see.
Yeah. And it's not about praise, like when I'm up on the council, I will speak when I believe that I need to.
Yep.
There's really I'm not going to talk just to talk or hear myself talk. If I need to say something, I go over my packets, and I really, I write my notes down, what I think I need to say or something like that. And if I don't need to, I don't need to. But off of the council, what I get done, I don't need to post. And I'm not big on like the post on Facebook that I got this done or I got that done. It's the handshake to me. When you don't need to know that I've got yards mowed, or
Sure.
I elderly man roof his house, or something like that. That's just something that I do, and I go home to do. They know it, the people know it. That's all that needs to know it to me.
Right.
I get up there, and my door's always open to people in the district. So that's how I am, and that's how I'll always be. And I get a lot of. I'm glad that people like the persona, because it how I just am who I am.
Yeah, right. That's
I just am who I am, and I will never change, and I will always be me. And if you like it, you do, and if you don't, you don't. It's kind of
it is what it is. Yeah. And I get the feeling that you've been that way, and you did those things before you were on the council, and you would do them if you're off the council. That's just who you are.
Yeah, the Ross Center is very, very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And I have been, I grew up in there, and I work with Johnny Pat, and they just sent 7 kids to judo nationals from the Ross Center to Atlanta.
Oh, that's cool.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
And Miss Jackie does a great job at the Ross Center. She's got so much programs going in and out of there.
Yeah.
And that's really the heart and blood of our district, really. So I've always fought for the Ross Center. I've always fought for this side of town, and I will. And like I said, I don't need to post it.
It's just, the people know.
I'm going to do it. Rather, like you said, I'm going to do it 35 years from now when I'm whatever I can do, I'm going to do it.
I that's good. And the Ross Center is always big. I grew up around there. I'm not from the Shed Town side of this part of town, but my grandfather worked at Chevy, and I remember some of the best things was when my grandmother would go get me, and we would go get him lunch on Fridays, and we'd always go to Racks on Madison, and then go down and wait. And I would go and play at the little playground outside of the Ross Center. And then when I got a little bit older, I got into Japanese style Taekwondo at the POW Club under Ron White.
Yeah.
And we went to a lot of tournaments there at the Ross Center. And so I grew up around in there. My grandparents owned some rental properties there on 18th Street, just off Hoyt. So, that's an area of the city that I am, very familiar with and grew up in and around. So my grandfather, grew up in in Shedtown. So, it's near and dear to my heart. And, I care about what you guys do down there and what you guys are going through. So I appreciate you coming on and talking with me. And like I said, you're welcome always on here. I wish you luck, and we'll watch what happens.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. You have a
Thank
good
you. Yep, you too, sir.
Bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Brandon Garrett. Brandon is the current counselor for Muncie's 3rd District. And like they say, from one Brandon to another. Where'd he go? Oh, from one Brandon to another. Wait a minute. What's he doing? I'll just keep saying it. From one Brandon to another. Now Kate's gone. What is happening? From one Brandon to another. God. Now Kate's back. It's broken 1 second, he says.
Oh. It's that JD internet. It's kicking
JD
everybody's ass tonight. It threw me out, threw him out.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me find this.
It hates us all.
While we're we'll do this.
No, I think you need to play Brandon's music. That's the problem.
I will when he comes on.
Oh, okay. Oh, God. You're playing the Don't Ever Play This
Yeah,
one?
Don't Ever Play song. This is great. It's better than I remember. I went through these songs again. Sea Attack. What's this? Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know why. Some of these I can't remember. Oh, from one Brandon to another.
Time.
What? No, you're not talking. We can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
Now I can.
You liar.
Okay, what's happening?
That was working the whole time up until I was like, oh, okay, well, now I click to go on there. It's like, your browser is not, your camera and your mic are not working. Restart the browser.
Literally, I was waiting that whole time to say from one Brandon to another.
And then we whiffed it.
And then it just broke.
Dude, that interview was rough. Like, you were so freaking mean. It was, like, so intimidating.
I know. I was throwing softballs. So listen, someone's like, you throw softballs the other night. So I got to say this. Here's the deal. With first of all, with people like Andrew Pop, Audie Barber, and Holly Yipe, they're candidates. Mm-hmm. They've not been on the council, so they've not done anything that are like, I need to be like, wait a minute, you did this.
But you voted for that.
You did this. Oh, no, Joey, wait a minute. I am an asshole and a bully if I need to be. I guess if I need to be, I'll bully a bad politician any time, any place. But it's the point. It's there's I like for people who are challengers. It's just like, tell me who you are. Let us know what's the deal is.
It's not a debate. It's not adversarial.
Yeah, it's right. It's just tell us who you are. Now, what happens is if Audie gets on and Audie whiffs it and just completely turns into a turd, then I'll call him on here and I'll be like, yo, dude, what in the hell are you doing? What's the deal? So that's what goes on with that. Now, Brandon, he's not done anything. Not this Brandon, the old Brandon. He's not done anything that I would be like, wait a minute, why have you did this? You know, like if Aaron Clark came on, I have questions in my invite to the mayor. I'm not going to get into what all I said, but I kind of talked to him about like, look,
so what up, bitch?
Yeah, hey man, remember me? I'm was just like, hey, I'm not gonna like just be a complete asshole, but if you think that you shouldn't be asked some tough questions, that's nuts, so we'll see if he responds or not. I don't know. Hopefully he does, but time will tell. However, the reason we're here, I planned because I didn't know there wasn't much to talk about. Really not a whole lot going on at the first time when I was planning this. I was going to get on and just do that candidate interview, and then
which was good, by the way. Yeah, before we get to that, I like hearing, because I lived in District 3 for several years. And Shedtown for a couple years as well. So it's really interesting. I got the same perspective that he did, or that he mentioned, that a lot of times the South Side in general, because I also lived in, it's a District 1 that's east of District 3.
Yeah.
Southeast. Yeah, I lived in that district as well. And it always felt like we were being overlooked. So it was really cool to
my grandparents don't live in the city of Muncie. They live outside, but they live on the south side of Muncie. And I mean, man, I remember going to their house young, and there was Kmart,
Pet Jungle.
Yeah, hell yeah. Evie's grocery store. Evie's?
Yeah.
Dude, I loved Evie's. I still have dreams about Evie's. I literally,
I mean, it wasn't that good of groceries.
No, I know. I just have dreams of being in the store. I could literally take you. I was a little kid, but I could take you to where places were in that store. But then right up the street was Marsh's, and it was like there was a lot of difference between Muncie's north side or south side. It was a full city, north and south and east and west.
Got Video Stop.
Yeah, man. I tell you, it was great, and it's sad that now driving out there, it's ridiculous.
The La Hacienda.
Yes, La Hacienda will rise again and save the city.
Margaritas with their taped off to go straws or whatever.
Yes. I love it.
Oh, they're the best.
You wanted to pop on because just real quick, everybody. I put Brandon in here, and I didn't, not you, the other Brandon, Councilor Garrett. I probably should have told him, because he probably jumped on and saw this, and I know, craving racks, right? I want one of those Mr. Gator drinks.
Oh, the juices?
Yes.
And they gave you the cookies. Those cookies were awesome.
Dude, it was the best.
Chocolate chip milkshake was where it's at.
Yeah, Scummel's Meat Market. My dad and I would always go get dry ice there and play with dry ice. Absolutely.
Burn the shit out of yourself?
Yeah. Throw it in the toilet with a little bit of liquid detergent and watch it bubble up with stuff, and we'd put it in balloons and blow balloons. I mean, we did all sorts of Mr. Wizard type crap.
That was fun.
It was great. But this was the thumbnail. Big Brother City of Muncie Parks Edition. And Brandon Garrett's probably like, why am I on here? What am I doing? What have I done?
And what's with the beard?
Like I've not right. I've not told anybody else what this was going. But Brandon wanted to come on because the city of Muncie released a post today that
it's weird.
Is really creepy.
Yeah. I can go ahead and share it.
So you want to take it away?
Sure. So let's see if I can make this visible. Let's see if I can do this. Does this help? Oh, this helps a lot. Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at those apples. Hopefully you guys can see that. Yeah. And La Hacienda is the shit.
Oh, yeah.
So they made this post 12 hours ago, so it would have been this morning. In the last few years, Muncie parks have seen a 32% increase in annual attendance. Thank you to our great parks team for helping us make Muncie parks better. So I'll skip to this real quick and I'll come back. So they have this graph with 2 data points.
Okay. 2 data points.
This looks like it was clearly made on Excel graphs. 2019, 2023. And then they put a trend line for some reason for 2 data points. I guess you only need 2 points for a line, but that's kind of weird to do a trend line. So
keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we're talking to an engineer. Okay, so Brandon is an engineer as a hobby. So it's not like he's a statistician or anything, but he's kind of a smart gentleman and likes to read data and things. So okay, go on.
Yeah, so I thought this was weird. It's actually one of my Facebook friends shared it, so then I had to come here to see it. But everybody had the same question. Like, I'll go through the comments here in a minute. But everybody's like, "How do you know how many people were at the park? You guys like have a gate where you're like counting people coming in?" So eventually they
one of those baseball counters.
Yeah. So eventually they updated it and they said, "No, we've gotten some great questions about the data. The city uses a data analysis service that anonymously tracks cell phone data. This helps us estimate attendance at local events and attractions." Well, that Don McLean concert, or whatever the hell his name is, you didn't need a cell phone data. There's enough people you could count with your just taking your shoes off.
Your shoes off.
So that sounds sketchy as shit to me. I guess it's like it's anonymous. They're just tracking straight up check-ins, and there's people in the comments. Some dude in particular in there who's like going to bat for City of Muncie, like ready to fist fight people for asking questions.
Wait. Do you know who it is?
Something Dixon, I think. But
Digger.
Hold on, I'll just find it. Where is he? And he's like calling people idiots and stuff, and being like, "It's not that hard to figure out, guys. You use Facebook. Facebook checks you in and everything." Shit, what's his name? And of course they filter out stuff they don't like.
Oh yeah.
Well, not all the stuff they don't like.
Yeah.
Of course, Christopher Bilbrey puts this graph on here right now. It's information graph, numbers, stuff, and randomized. Oh, shit, I love it.
Look, while you're looking, I'll just put this up here on the screen for everybody's close-up enjoyment.
Okay.
So it's Ridenhour's information graph, and it says numbers. Okay, of course, going up the left-hand side there, and then down here it says blue, yellow, green stuff, and then you obviously see that there's a little bit of blue stuff, roughly 450,000 whatever blue stuff. And then there's about 600,000 blue stuff or yellow stuff. And then there's just about 630,000 whatever green
stuff.
So
let's be accurate on our green stuff, what we're counting here.
Yeah, right. So this was the graph there. And then obviously you see that there's a black line going up and then there's a red line going down. So it just shows you kind of what's happening there. And they were going to use that. Oh, Josh Dixon. Yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, to anyone who's saying, are they tracking ourselves? I'm really surprised the number of people basically calling City of Muncie liars. Are people really this unaware to know this kind of data taken from their cell phones? Et cetera, calling people assholes, Tide Pod eaters, crapping on people. But here's the best part. He's like, well, here's a picture to show you that they're tracking it. But here's the best part. Did you look at this?
Oh, I didn't see this.
So he's trying to show that, like, obviously you can track it. But then you look at this. Oh, shit, I can't zoom in on it. And it's showing that there's, like, nobody at the park. To make his point, he's like, because there's another one where he's like, dude, I can see the park right now. There's literally like so many people out there. What is wrong with you guys? And then he shares this example where it shows there's like a fifth of the bar of how many people are normally there. It says way less busy than usual.
I love it.
Now, Eric would like to make a piece of related news, everyone aware of it. Cell phone usage with tracking turned on has increased 37% in Muncie from 2021 to 2023. Just, information.
Yeah. Cell phone tracking's become more people have access to cell phones now, and
yeah.
So I'm not calling them liars yet, but it's really weird too because I look through the comments and they keep just saying they use a data analysis service. They won't say what the service is.
Oh, yes, they will.
Well, what is it? They didn't say
record request sent.
Oh, okay, good. But they're making a point not to say it. So I'm curious how much they spent on this data, because we really need to spend money to know how many people are at the parks.
We'll know soon.
And it's weird that they wouldn't say the name of the service on this post. And if you also notice, there's only 2 data points. It's 2019 and 2023. Christopher makes this thing, some other handsome Brandon. God, there's so many wonderful Brandons in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Said, why not show data from 2021 and 22? This is an interesting way to present this data. AKA, this is a bullshit way to present this data. City of Muncie replies, we can absolutely do that. To which this other gentleman replies, well, because that's when Ryan Nauer was elected. He's trying to take credit, even as he's trying to take away Tui, one of the most popular parks. I'm not aware of the two. They were trying to. Was that the one they were trying to give to YMCA? What happened with Tui?
Tui, they were going to try to put the YMCA where Tui was. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Don't forget, they were also going to build the magical rainbow unicorn glass bridge.
Kind of glass bridge from one place to another place to do with Tui. I never really understood what they were going to do. They were gonna build it from Dan's office to the park or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people asking how they track the data. Josh Dixon telling them it's easy. You're a fucking idiot if you don't understand how they do it. Troy Chester going at him. About how screwed up it is. He tried to steal Tui from us. People are saying the parks are ghost towns. Everybody else saying, I see people at West Side all the time. I never see anybody at West Side.
Now, West Side Park, I gotta say, really? You don't see people at West Side Park?
That's the one that's right along Riverside, isn't it? In Townsend?
Yeah, Murder Park.
It's not as many as I used to see. It doesn't feel like it, but maybe.
Yeah, no. Okay, back up there. It's not as many as I used to see. I gotta say, if I'm driving around aimlessly lost in Muncie, I'm never lost in Muncie. If I'm driving around like I do when I drive in Muncie, if I see people at a park, the park is generally where I see people at is West Side Park. Now, there's not nearly as many people at West Side Park today as there was, say, in the 90s or the 80s.
People were balling like crazy out there, even in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah. Because it's haunted. Well, dude, there's been some murder and different things out there, so it always scared the hell out of me after that. There's 2 kids killed out there, and we never solved it and all that stuff. So that's kind of bad on a park, but
yeah. Well, like last time I went to McCullough, there's nobody there except for the guy who tried to sell me the drugs and the 2 people I was playing disc golf with. And someone who was living in their van in the parking lot.
He was trying to pick you up. He was flashing his lights at you and picking you up.
Yeah.
I went in McCullough Park one time.
One time?
One time.
As a cop or as a citizen?
I was on the police department. And a guy flung out of there and threw a handgun from a car. Started throwing condoms from the car. We got him stopped. We were in a pursuit with him, got him stopped right as he was getting ready to get on I-69. And I'm telling you, it was quite an eventful event. Generally, when they are throwing items from the car, you've got other officers stopping to pick them up because it could be drugs or weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like he threw a gun from the car, and he was throwing items from a car, which ended up having to be condoms. And we just assumed that he was throwing drugs out of the car. It wasn't drugs that he was throwing out.
Yeah, great.
It was so weird. It was what a night. So yeah, that's McCullough Park for you. But look,
when's the last time you saw someone at Mansfield?
Chewy. I think the last time. Well,
what year was that?
Well, I'm always there. I'm there. I'm generally there once a year, or excuse me, twice a year for 3 out of 4 years because it's an election. So they have elections going on there.
Yeah.
So I always see several people there, but no one like enjoying the park. I see people at Mansfield Park periodically.
I like that park, actually.
Fishing. Yeah, it's all right. I got a weird story about Mansfield Park, too. Someone swallowed their tongue there once, and it scared me as a little kid. I got all these places I'm scared of because of shit that happened when I was a little kid. So,
yeah, I like most of the Muncie parks. I thought I found a gun at Heacon Park when I was a kid.
What was it?
It was a gun.
Okay.
So here's what it was when I was a kid. So they had that little shelter that's like kind of by like the playground and stuff behind the fire department.
Pause. Charlize, they were. Go ahead.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
You know how there's that like little shelter back there, or was? I don't know if it's still back there. With the picnic tables?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So when I was a kid, up in the rafters of it, there was like, it looked like a gun. It was a fake gun, but it was like black and brown. So it wasn't like a toy gun. It was like neon orange or anything. It looked like real gun. It was up in the rafters, so you could just kind of see it.
Yeah.
So like ran over to the fire department. The firemen were like, we think there's a gun up there. So like they came over, and for a minute they thought it was too, and they pulled down. I was like, oh no, it's like plastic.
You're like a true Muncie person.
Yeah.
That's like you as a kid were in the park and you ran to the fire department to be like, hey, I found a gun. Like if that's what makes you a true Muncie person. If you were a kid that ran to a fire department and found a gun, you may be from Muncie. That's like you're a true Muncie person. Like I always kind of forget that about you.
Oh, dude, I'm legit Muncie.
Yeah, true. Yeah. You're like true blue.
Oh, for sure.
Or red and black, one or the other. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm not trying to. Oh, Jesus Christ! I forgot. I had this person blocked on my other account. Now I get to see her stuff all the time. She just used to annoy me so bad I blocked her. But anyways, I like the parks. McCullough is an interesting one because I was playing disc golf there. I used to play there like a decade ago, and I hadn't been for a long time. It's kind of grown up better, but at the same time, like if you're by the like the tables and stuff in the parking area, dude, that's all like 100% like crazy weeds and stuff. It's getting a little out of control, but
yeah, they need to do something with that. In McCullough Park, one time when I was little, my brother and I were sliding, and my mom was there, and my brother came down the slide head first on his back.
Oh, Jesus.
He like bent, and it like when he stood up, it like knocked the wind out of him, and he passed out and fell down. And my mom runs up to him and scoops him up and picks him, and we're like taking off towards the car. And this guy just appears. And he was like, I was just climbing the trees. I heard you. I'm here to help. And he was
what the hell?
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. You know how high up the tree limbs are at McCullough?
Yeah.
You were climbing where were you climbing the trees here? Like,
hi, I'm a random psycho. I'll take that child off your hands.
That's right. So that kind of scared me too. And, I don't go there either. But, so... No, back to this stuff here. So,
oh, sorry, we're sidetracked.
No, you're fine. I'm fine. We're fine. It's a Friday night, I guess. So they're saying the parks are safe. Listen, we're joking. This is all quite like Muncie stuff. These are very kind of niche type of stuff. The parks are very safe. They're nice.
I wouldn't go at McCullough after dark.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, you're not supposed to be in any park after dark, but I specifically, yeah.
That one specifically. I wouldn't be too worried about Mansfield. I wouldn't... Heacon's a little... No, Heacon's okay. That's where I spent most of my time when I was a kid, because I lived right by there.
Okay. So, yeah. So, the parks... I have to say that I think the Ride Now administration is doing good stuff in the park.
Sure.
I kind of think that they're letting a lot of other stuff go to do that, but I don't understand this. Halteman, that's a park I've never been to Halteman Park. I don't know what goes on there.
Where's Halteman?
inside Halteman Village.
Oh.
Brandon's never been there either.
Yeah, I've never been there.
We didn't go. We are not from Halteman Village. We've never been there.
I don't wear a monocle and.
Yeah.
Oh, are you from a Halteman Village?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Away with you, peasant.
Brandon played in Brandon found a gun in a park. He definitely didn't play it. She's saying it's new. Dominique's saying it's new. So okay, good. That's apparently why I don't know it. It's new.
Yeah.
It's the new park in town, I guess. So
agreed, Charlie's. That's way too late. I'm not gonna be at McCall at 10:30.
Judy Calhoun supporters. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't be there at 11:30, and I wouldn't be there at 11:30 either. Or 11.
Yeah. So, anyways, I want to call bullshit on this data.
Yeah. Talk about this.
I don't know that I believe this data. Damn it! I lost my stuff because I had to close my whole browser because I couldn't get my sound. So now I got to find my data again. Hold on a second here. I'm gonna get this data. So, first of all, they're being a little shifty about it. I asked them. As you saw, I said, hey, why not give the other years? And they're like, oh, we'll do that. But if you look at okay, this is probably not really a good example. But this actually reflects the other data I looked at, and I don't have time to dig up the other data. But I'm going to show this real quick.
Okay.
But if you look at data from national parks and things like that. So this isn't a national park, but this is Disney's Animal Kingdom, right?
Okay.
So this is leading up to 2019. So 2019, they kind of peak. Then something happened in 2020, which kept people indoors and dropped attendance.
Weird.
But then we get up to 2022, and they're still way lower.
Yeah.
If you look at I looked at Zion National Park, it was the exact same trend almost. Zion National Park actually has increased by 4% since 2019. National parks in general, similar trend. It dropped off and they kind of recovered, but most of national parks still aren't quite where they were back in 2019. Or they're getting close to, maybe improved a little bit. They're kind of following more of this trend again, where it increases by a little bit per year. So that's say Zion National Park is 4% increase, but City of Muncie is 32% increase. That seems crazy to me. Also, if it follows this trend, if you want to show a crazy increase, why not show 2020 to 2023?
Yeah, right, which would have been fine.
Or also, and we'll get back to that. Also, gosh dang it, I'm losing my data again. What was I going to say? Oh, also, they're saying it's a 32% increase to 2023, but we're still in 2023.
Yeah, right.
So they're saying 9 months into 2023, they've already increased by 32% by the end of the year when they're having people coming out. Well, if it's snowing in time, if people are sledding and stuff.
Right.
I mean, what are they going to say? It's increased by 50+% since 2019? I mean, maybe, but I'd like to see the data. That's insane to me. But I love this part, though, which is this gentleman responded to this handsome Brandon fellow is because that's your Ridenhour is elected, right?
Yeah.
So, was I not sharing that? Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're fine.
He's trying to take credit for some reason. That's the other thing. They don't say "Hey, thanks to Ridenhour." They're giving credit to Parks Department, but they are blatantly, to answer my question or that guy's question, 2019 to 2023 is because that's the year that Ridenhour is elected till today.
Yeah.
Leading me to my next point, which annoys the shit out of me, which is the incumbent advantage, right?
Oh yeah, that's what's real bad.
I mean, as the incumbent, you get the ability to, for instance, you could spend tax dollars on, I got one of these today. Oh, I got one of these lovely things today. Oh shit, don't show my address. I got one of these lovely mailers with...
No way! Yeah.
With my buddy JD Prescott here, working hard for Hoosier students.
I saw his face and immediately started tearing it up. I'm impressed you got it ears into the house.
Yeah, no. Remember, we got to keep them, and we gotta review them.
I can't,
dude. The wife
face is just so freaking punchable.
The wife won't take them out of the mailbox. She's like, if you want that, go get it out of the mailbox. Yeah. It's not coming in the house otherwise. So I didn't say that. I didn't just rat her out. But no, well, actually, she didn't bring in the mail at all. She said, I think one of those things is in the mail. I didn't bring in the mail yet.
I'm not even touching any of it.
Yeah, she didn't bring in the mail. But it's funny. He's got all this stuff about like improving school safety, supporting students, parents, boosting crew readiness. None of these things had anything to do with any bills that he authored. Again, spending taxpayer dollars to take credit for stuff you didn't do going into what's going to be an election year this next year.
Yeah.
And they could do 4 of these a year. They spend like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then this same company then does their campaign mailers for dirt cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's the incumbent advantage, and it's bullshit.
It's the incumbent advantage, and that's something that Ridenauer Halteman is now a City of Muncie park, no longer owned by the neighborhood association. And the ass has partnered with the city parks to improve amenities, grants, fundraise, city allocations. Lovely park. That's lovely.
Well, I didn't check that one out then. I didn't
Yeah,
know that was a new park.
There. Yeah, also voting against vets getting property tax breaks. So the thing is, I mean, what the reason you point out that JD thing, other than just pointing out what a tool he is.
Yeah. There's a point.
Look, I get it that it's helpful to be like, I'm running for re-election. I am the mayor, or I am, Brandon Garrett he's Councilor Brandon Garrett. So, that's your, you have that little bit of advantage. But when you get to the point where literally this administration in the mayor's office has totally perverted what the social media is supposed to be about.
Yep.
It is so gross what they have done, how they, and it's like they've got whole groups of people that go to work all day long and just do this on this social media page. They fight with people in the comments. There was literally just a post made by someone the other day that said, it isn't, aren't you insanely sick of seeing all of the negativity in the City of Muncie's posts? And City of Muncie members literally got on and said, yes, we are. That's what we keep pointing out. And everyone's like, no, it's not. We're not talking about the citizens calling you guys out. We're talking about you guys that call the citizens stupid. Corey Bory Fink the other day just literally called me an idiot in a post. And it's just like, this is that guy was calling people assholes. It's like, what is going on? You guys are the administration. You should be saying, oh, we're sorry, but you might have some wrong information. Here, let us help you. They're not doing that.
Well, yeah, and like that post I was just showing, like, people have a lot of questions because when you typically look at a graph, what does it have on it? First of all, it has labels for the X and Y axis. This one did not have that.
Right.
It just has, it's like your bullshit one is about as well actually it was better labeled than theirs.
Yeah, it was.
Because you actually labeled your axes. You had stuff and numbers.
Yeah.
They have nothing.
Yeah.
Usually, like if you see like data from, let's say, a poll, it'll say poll gathered from Gallup, blah, blah, blah on such and such date. There's none of that.
Yep.
So like people obviously have questions. It's a weird, and that was that Brandon guy's whole point is he's like, this is kind of a weird way to present this data. Like you gave 2 data points, skipped a whole bunch of points in the middle. You didn't label your axes. You didn't label the graph. You didn't say where it came from. Like, you have a bizarre trend line for no reason.
To be fair, have you ever tried using Excel to create a bar graph?
Oh, yeah, I smash with it. I'm a pro.
If you've never done it before, though, it is difficult if you've never done it before.
Yes, it is.
So
Brandon's just
to be fair, that's really hard to do.
It is, but if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't present it. It's like saying I can't play guitar, so I'm going to grab one real quick and put this video on YouTube so everyone can tell me I'm an idiot and ask me why I did that. It's the same thing, right?
Touché.
I'm going to learn before I present it on social media.
Right. Well, and they put it up like no one should have questions.
My point being, Kate, is, my point just being there's enough vagueness to it that there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, and then they get mad about that. Yeah,
it can be not a great graph, but if it's not a great graph and things aren't labeled, you should be able to say, where did this data come from and what is this? Without being like people telling you you're an idiot. Not that the city of Muncie called anyone an idiot. They responded to me in a positive way.
So kind of. I mean, let me ask you, 12 hours ago, have they given you your information yet?
No.
Well, I have a record request in to the city of Muncie asking for a copy of the data, asking for how much we paid on the data, for it, what fund it came out of.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people asking that in the comments too. Like, how much does this cost? What do we pay for this? Yeah.
So I'm sure it came. I'm sure if it truly came from someplace, we paid with edit. So and I'm sure it's because it's expensive to do things like that.
Yeah.
What I will love to see is when they give me that, like, Ridenour's campaign team did it. And that would be a no.
Well, it's almost, I don't know which is worse, that his campaign team pays for it or the city paid for it, and it's basically a campaign ad. Which is worse? Well,
it don't matter. It's all the same because it's intermixed. So at this point,
it's just as bad.
It's whatever they say when I'll just say a horse apiece, but some people say half a six of these and half a dozen of the other or whatever. So it's not a good thing. And the Ridenour team has literally been doing this since last September. They have been campaigning on his page, posting stuff. Well, it was like you have the Robinson thing.
Yeah, I've got it. It's pulled up. You want to look at it?
Are you gonna?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
His comment.
Yeah, I saw that because I did comment about it.
Oh, did you see this before I told you?
I knew it the other day. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So basically, this is following the debate, right? When was the debate? On like the 18th or something?
I
think this was after the debate.
Was on 13th.
Okay.
Their debate was on the 13th.
Okay, so this is following up with that. He's like, he has a lot to say and refute because there's the big debate on the cost to actually pave the roads and everything. It's like, as you can see in the coming photos, there's more information and misleading posts coming from the current administration via the city's official Facebook page, which is the one we're talking about. It said there's more on how inappropriate that is at the end, so stay tuned. What this post fails to mention regarding total cost, the scope of work being done, and inflates the project cost per lane mile. So he's arguing about what it actually costs. That's not particularly relevant. He's saying, hey, here's the cost. This is what we need. Whatever. I guess LF is linear feet, right? In square yards, linear feet. Okay. So they're basically arguing, saying he's full of crap, that you can't get it done for the cost that Jeff's saying. Jeff says, for context, Jeff Robinson, Democrat candidate, by the way. For context, my opponent claims the average cost is $1.4 million per lane mile. He's paved 31 lane miles of road in the past 3 years. If his claims of $1.4 million per lane mile are correct, that would mean he spent $43,400,000 on road paving over the last 3 years, which we all know that just isn't true. I don't know that I know that, but that's okay.
Well, they're literally just working through the budget. Jeff works with budget, so
He would know.
Jeff would know, but yeah, it's like we don't all know it, I guess.
Yeah, I just take his word for it. Then I'll have to take his word for it at this point, unless I see something different or I can look into it. But it doesn't matter for the point of what I'm reading here. So he talks about what it costs, but then he gets down to this final paragraph. Good Lord, Mouse. Finally, using the city's official Facebook page as a tool for my opponent's re-election campaign is highly inappropriate for many reasons. It goes against the standards they have set for citizens, pictured below, to engage on social media. I've remained quiet since my opponent put magnets with his name and face on the side of his city-issued vehicle while using it to drive to campaign events in the canvas neighborhoods. I've remained quiet while appointed staff's time has been spent on Facebook during business hours while on the taxpayer's payroll. I wonder who that is. To support and defend his time as mayor and his re-election efforts. My guess is the mayors of Muncie are smart enough to see all this for what it is. The picture he's talking about is this one. Outdated, inaccurate, false, or misleading information and promotion of opposition to political organizations, campaigns, candidates, or pending legislative action.
This is like the terms of service for the city's Facebook page.
Yeah, their group rules or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying that their own group rules are being broken by the group itself, by the city itself. So
yeah,
we've definitely seen plenty of his staff jumping on there to like argue with you in particular and anybody during business hours. You talked about it yesterday with the old Jonesy about how during work hours they'll get on there just to argue with you all day and defend the mayor, which to me is absurd. It's pretty unethical. Quite frankly, Dan really needs to get that under control. He needs to be like, listen, guys, this isn't helping me. It's not making me look good because you guys are supposed to be working for city, not campaigning for me while you're supposed to be working. It makes me look like I have no control over my staff and that, quite frankly, City Hall's a joke because everyone's sitting around campaigning for me during work hours instead of doing their jobs.
Well, let me tell you what makes that even worse. The city hall is a city building. It should be open during business hours for the citizens of Muncie. Citizens of Muncie have always been able to walk throughout the city hall. They have that place locked down. I mean, look, I understand there has to be some safety, and I get it, blah, 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 whatever. But they got that place locked down tighter than the White House, man. And now you can't just go anymore. Like used to, a citizen could get there and could run in and run up an application to the HR department, drop off an application if they wanted to apply to the police department or fire department, or they wanted to apply to the street department. If they wanted to go, if they wanted to go talk to the Human Rights Commission, if they're there to go listen to a meeting that's going on. Now you got to go in, you got to talk to like 2 or 3 cops that are at the door. They got to like decide if you're allowed to be there. Like I go in and I'm like, hey, I was emailed and told to come down here to meet the HR lady. And they're like, it's like, they've got to verify that that's true. And it's like, no. You don't need to verify that's true. So now I just tell them I'm going other places in the building and I go to wherever I want to go instead. But I've not been down there in a couple weeks, and somebody called me last week and said, hey, did you know that City Hall is like basically appointment only? And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, yeah, I went to the city and I tried going to like 3 different offices and they were like, shut up. That, there was like one person in one of the offices and they said I needed to schedule an appointment to talk to somebody and that I wouldn't be able to do it today from here. I needed to like go home and call. And I'm like, what? Like, that's not how this is supposed to be working. Are they not there? Are they getting paid but not being there? Like, what's happening? Why are they not there to interact with citizens during the day? That's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
And so what's really strange about that is it because the workers are, they're on Facebook, campaigning?
I mean, we've seen them doing that. And it's not even that, like the Facebook thing's what got me today, but I sent you that picture before when I saw the signs of those houses being built.
Yes.
And they had his name all over the sign. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the signs I made in its place?
I feel like I did, but I can't remember.
Okay, go on. Sorry, go on. I didn't know if you had or not.
No, you're fine. Now I need to see him.
Comical.
But it's the same thing with like they start like the city of Muncie is posting, here's another road being paved. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, they're showing you that roads are being paved, but they were never notifying us. I'm like, oh, by the way, this railroad crossing is going to be shut down for the next week. Sorry, we forgot to tell you that. But we did pave this one road.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, where's that road at? And they're like, oh, it's between one cornfield and another. There's no houses.
Cul-de-sac between two cornfields.
Yeah, right.
It goes nowhere.
It's like, this is a road to nowhere, man. What I don't understand. So yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. And I've always said that, like, this is the first administration really that's been on social media, because the social media craze kicked off really under the last administration. Mm-hmm. And so they developed a City of Muncie Facebook page, but they did a lot of, they were like brand new to it. So it's like, this is the one that is like kind of deciding how Facebook is going to be used as a City of Muncie page. And it's just interesting to me, like, will everybody do this from this point forward now? Or, because this is not the way to be. I don't like this. I don't like them doing this way. And it's just, it's a bunch of shit, really.
Well, they haven't blocked you yet, so that's something. But no, you're 100% right there, Eric. That's how a lot of this stuff is. It's like those mailers are free campaign mailers at the taxpayers' expense. And
yeah,
that's kind of crazy. So
right here you go. I found it.
Let's have a look at this bad boy.
Okay, here's the picture. Here's the picture you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Here is my picture.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a city project, Matt Wegley. The other white Wegley told me this. This is not a city project, Matt Wegley, Deputy Controller, City of Muncie. I'm like,
this is not a city project. Well, then why is the City of Muncie all over it?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, dude, what is going on here?
Yeah, that's very confusing.
I also found out that they paid how much money they paid for those signs. They ended up paying a good amount of money for them, I believe, if I recall. And I found out how much they paid for those signs and how much they paid for those magnets from the City of Muncie. If I recall, give me 1 second here. I can find that information out too. It's down here. What?
Oh, I was gonna say, while you're looking for that, I'll tell you where City of Muncie where Dan Ridenour's administration really lost me, and I was like, you know what, I'm 100% done with him, was during the ECIBG stuff.
Yep.
Where they're like, call Bob Beasley, and then Shane Wagley got real shitty with me and was like, just call Bob Beasley if you got questions. So I did, and he's like, yeah, I'm not answering questions. I'm like, he was really sick.
Yes.
And they're telling citizens to basically harass him, which I didn't realize until I'd call him, and he's like, yeah, like, I'm so angry at them. They never apologized. They never took that info down.
They never took that information down.
Yeah, we told them afterwards, like, yeah, he's saying he's not answering questions. You need to change that. Like, he's not doing well. He doesn't want to answer questions. Tell people to stop calling him. So, like, they just scapegoated, like, a sick man, and I it was disgusting.
He died, like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, he did. And I won't forgive them for that crap. And they didn't want to apologize. They wouldn't take that stuff down. Like, that's gross.
I don't think anybody realizes, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're literally talking about how they treated a sick, like, on hospice dying man. They posted his crap. I told Shireen Wegley, they like laugh it off. Their Danatics, the cheerleaders, make a post saying that we're just bitchers and complainers, that they gave us the answers on a silver platter and we didn't want to take their answers. And I was like, what?
You told us to call someone who wouldn't answer the questions.
We did. I talked mouth to ear to the communications director, told her, played for her, sent her my recording of him, all the recordings I had, and they're like, oh, yeah, we'll have to deal with this.
You even made it a point to come on this show
and
tell everyone, do not call him.
I did.
Yeah. I know you did. You made
I apologized.
Point. It was important because he was sick and he wasn't taking calls, and it was the city trying to use him to cover their own asses.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting, and you did what you could to stop it.
Yeah.
But they never took it down. Yeah. So I don't know how many other people continued to call that poor man for information. It was bullshit.
Yeah. And I think I called him. He just said, I don't know what you're talking about, and like hung up on me basically. And then you called him, you're like, the city is telling us to call you. And he's like, I don't know anything about that. And you're like, okay. And then we're done with it.
Yeah, it was really bad. I could not believe that they did that. And they at the end of the day, they act like there was no, like they did nothing wrong. And it was still us, all those shameful Tyler fans.
Yeah, that's weird too.
What?
How dare they ask questions? They must love that Tyler.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, I don't even understand.
Oh, that is correct, Debbie. He's like, he said he was retired too. Then he's like, I'm retired. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm not answering any questions.
So. Very strange. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's the city's tracking us on cell phone devices. They've got cameras to where they're tracking us when we're in our cars. They're tracking us on foot. They're tracking us in our home. Hey, Dan, if you can hear this, your team sucks.
Oh, did you find those numbers? That's what I was stalling for.
What numbers?
On what the signs in the thing cost.
Oh, yeah. Standby. Oh, I didn't know that's what you were doing.
Yeah, I was stalling so you could do that. I was just going to talk about that while you looked up the numbers. And you just got entranced. You just got roped in.
If that's what happens. Yeah, it's just right. Yeah.
Well, see, now I don't have anything to stall with. So now we're just going to watch you look up numbers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the point that dude was yelling at everyone. He's like, you do realize that like Google tracks you and Amazon tracks you, but it's just weird. There's something weirder about the government doing it for some reason. I mean, it's all weird. I don't want to be tracked by anybody, but
yeah, like listen, okay. So honestly, the thing is, it's like it doesn't. I get it. I get what he's saying, and I work to try to stop that by turning different permissions and stuff off on my phone. But at the end of the day, it's like, that's really strange. And it's really strange that this is what, you guys are doing. Oh yeah, right here. Here it is. Attached are some documents received by the mayor's office. 60 home signs were purchased. They purchased 60 of those homes.
How many homes are they putting up? 60?
I don't think they're putting up 60. I don't know. No, I don't know. Maybe 30. Maybe they need 2 for each sign.
One
6.
for each side of the house.
What?
1 for each side of the house.
Yeah, right.
4 around the house.
Yeah. 6 mayor magnets. One was lost off a car. Was purchased from the same location, and 2 deputy mayor signs.
Why?
And I asked them how much, and it was a grand total of Joe
Tompkins.
What do you say?
Henry County Spillman computer goes into hyperdrive anytime we go live.
$260. No, sorry, that was extremely dyslexic. That actually freaks me out that I just said 260. It's actually 620.
Oof.
I can't believe that just happened in my head.
That's actually really expensive.
620. It is.
How many signs was it total?
60.
60?
Yeah.
Because I just helped a bunch of people buy campaign signs today, and it was between 200 and 300 for 50.
Yeah, but these were multicolors and stuff.
Well, these were 2 colored.
These were 3 colored.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one more color. Kate.
White, black. It might have even been 4 colored. White, black, yellow.
Oh my God.
White and black, blue and yellow.
Listen, right now we're overpaced for everything. So
Everything.
I forgot that. I forgot
everything. How is that? How is that? How's that, dude? Literally, we got a joke in my family. I don't know my grandparents.
I'm just glad they weren't $18 million.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was my thing. I thought 620 was low for what they've been spending on.
Yeah,
stuff.
right. Well, listen, it's low in the grand scheme of things. It's still ridiculous that they did not need to purchase any of that shit. We got this joke in my family that one time my grandpa
named Christopher.
What?
Named Christopher.
Hey.
Yeah, that's a dick move.
We got this joke in my family that one time my grandpa went into Pizza King, and he picked up a pizza that we were ordering for some kind of family get together. And he went in and they told him it was going to be like $13. And he was like, no, they told me on the phone it was going to be like $25. And they're like, nope, it's $13. And he's like, no, they told me I was paying $25. And they're like, nope, it's $13. And my grandpa was like, no, I'm not leaving here until I pay you $25.
What the hell?
So we always give him crap for that he like,
Why did he do that?
I don't know. He'd had it set in his mind. That's what he was paying. And by God, that's what he was going to pay. So that's what he paid. I don't know I don't know now if the story is that's what he paid or they ended up getting him, but he was like adamant that he was not going to pay $13. He was going to pay $25.
Nope. They told me 25 and 25 is what I'll pay.
And probably what it was is that was like something that my grandma had told him. And so he was like, well, she told me and I'm doing what she said. So
like maybe it's the wrong order or something. Like
I have no clue what happened there, but he was like adamant that he was going to make sure that they were, they were not going to shortchange him. So yeah, I don't know. That's like right now. He must pay too much for everything. And I do agree that while that $620 is not a lot, it's still too much for what they did. It's just a waste. He would not have done that any other year, except now he was running for re-election. So that's why they needed that done. That's gross. It's weird. And they need to stop it. I don't know. I mean, I've been bringing this to his attention for 2 years now that he needs to figure out a way to rein Shireen Wegley in, and he just will not do it.
Yeah. And I mean, he's not the only one who does it, but
oh no,
it is what it is.
So that's that.
Yeah, I could have sworn, I was trying to find it. I could have sworn, and I could be 100%. I'm not going to say it because I'm probably wrong. But I was looking at this mailer again that I just got.
Yeah.
See what that says?
Back to school
It's a legislative update, and I saw it, so I'm probably going to have the cops called on me now.
When is it? When is that?
No, it's just this is the legislative update, so now he's going to call the cops on me.
Oh my God! Yeah, he's stalking me. Brandon is stalking me. So I just
Joey Simpson.
Yeah, those flyers are ridiculous. I've been getting them. I got a flyer here from Dan
Crenshaw. Oh, Dan right there. Is this one of the city ones? Like, oh, this is a campaign one.
Yeah.
Official campaign one. Dude, he's got a huge war chest, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. It was like 120,000. I mean, for running for mayor of a city, like $120,000, $130,000. No.
I'm sure you offended someone, Joey, but it is what it is.
Oh no, you're not offending.
Not offending me.
Yeah. Never stop, Joey. Never start stopping.
Never stop starting.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Remember, keep in mind, everybody, I guess, except Kate, keep your mailers. Keep all mailers. We have to go through them. They're always good.
Dang, Stumblefoot, you're like breaking records for getting blocked, man.
Yeah. Stumblefoot is blocked from JD.
That's bad as hell.
Who else has blocked you? Dan blocked him.
Give him enough time and everybody.
Yeah, right.
The only thing slowing him down is time.
I was thrown off the mailing list. How are you doing?
You didn't even get political ads anymore?
I'm not even gonna send you a political mailer.
Like, remove him from the rolls. He's out.
That's hilarious. Oh my God. So
I've
JD
got
JD Sproles and Dan.
Oh, Sproles going too. So I've got a coworker. He keeps sending me these things. He gets those I wonder if I can find it. He'll get those political text messages.
I wish I could get them.
Dude, he always like answers the most insane things possible. Let me see if I can find one so I can actually read it and not butcher it. I'll find it here eventually. I just know it. Oh, here we go. So he gets this one that says, "Hi, John. Hi, I'm John. This guy's name isn't John. It says, "Hi, I'm John, working to elect Ron DeSantis. Do you have a minute to answer a couple of questions?" To which he replies, "Hello, John. I actually have a question for you. Does Ron DeSantis live in a house made with a traditional stick frame, or better yet, a timber frame or log cabin? I have a large collection of termites that I'm hoping to plant at various political figures' houses." And I didn't think John would reply, but he did. He goes, "I'm sorry, I don't have that information, but someone from the campaign may be able to help you. Can I assist you with any other questions about Governor DeSantis or his campaign?" He goes, "I want to know his greatest fear and his biggest wish."
Wait, did you say greatest fear and biggest wish?
Vice versa.
Okay. Well, that's okay. That's fine. I thought you said something else. So, okay.
Yeah, so he just always answers like insane shit. It's usually related to wanting to plant termites into their headquarters or their home. And some of them have been biting, and they like converse with him. And then he, like his last one, he ended with like, "You're a coward" or something like that, because they wouldn't agree to like it's some challenge. I love that.
Or something. I don't ever get those. I've gotten them when I've been at my grandparents' house and I answered the phone a time or two, and I'll get people who will call them, but nobody, like, they don't call my cell phone. They must know, they must get the Mike Jones mailer. They must know that I'm a piece of trash.
They must.
And that's that.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of those. They've been going to my spam folder. I got one recently from the Pence campaign that was like, Pence just smashed at the debate. Let's keep that momentum going. I was like, really?
Dude, Mike Pence stood still with a fly on his head for like 40 minutes. I am never going to want that guy to be made to be president.
You're speechless. You're so upset.
Yeah. I mean, that guy's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
There's no way. That was the most ridiculous thing. So, no, he's not. He didn't kill. He didn't smash. He's been ridiculous.
Well, that's not what my text message said. It says you're a liar. Wait, let's see what it says. It says, here, now I just found it. Oh, Mike Pence stepped onto the debate stage tonight and delivered a performance that left the nation buzzing. He didn't just win the debate. He dominated it with grace, poise, and proved his unwavering commitment to our conservative values. But this debate victory is just the beginning.
That's
delusional.
That is delusional. I mean, that is seriously messed up.
Maybe Mike Pence's brother could do that.
And Mike Pence's brother wouldn't even talk to that woman that one time.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty bullshit.
And I've heard that he's going to start taking over the roles of Pee Wee Herman now that Pee Wee Herman's dead. Yeah, so I don't know. I can't stand either one of those guys, and I'm gonna be happy.
I don't know who Greg is.
Well, he's Mike Pence's brother.
Oh, I only know him as Mike Pence's brother.
Mike Pence's brother's brother. Wait, which one was it we said about Greg?
Yeah, we only call him Mike Pence's brother. We don't ever invoke his name.
Yeah,
it's like G who should not be named and Mike Pence's brother.
Mike Pence's brother. Well, good. So anything else you got?
No, I just kind of wanted to ramble on about that one. The whole incumbent advantage and taking advantage and towing the line on Hatch Act, all that kind of stuff annoys the shit out of me.
Listen, they have definitely crossed the line on the Hatch Act. There's no question. That has happened.
Mm-hmm.
They have been at work. They have sent emails out fundraising. They all social media during the day. I don't know why we can't, they all say things like, we get lunches and breaks. And I'm like, give it a break. Give me a break.
Yeah, we get a break every 5 minutes.
Yeah. If you're, that's what I told. I finally tagged the elected council on Mike Jones yesterday. And I was like, look, if this guy is getting paid to be doing this, you guys need to unfund him. Like, There's no way. And he's like, well, we get breaks and lunches. And I'm like, if you're getting this many breaks, then the stamps obviously must not need licked.
Well, yeah, his mouth gets dry. He needs a water break like every couple of minutes. You ever tried to lick that many stamps in a day?
No, I think that would be bad. George Costanza's fiance died doing that.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious because he bought the cheap-ass envelopes or whatever.
Yeah.
That show's the best.
It was.
It's the stupidest stuff ever.
Oh, I loved it. I'm such a Seinfeld fan.
George was the worst. What was cold?
Good. Well, Brandon, I appreciate you coming on with us.
Hey, no problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the 41st episode, Big Brother City of Muncie Parks edition. We also had an interview with the other Brandon Garrett.
Yeah, that was a good
District
interview.
3 council candidate running for District 3 at large, District 3 re-election. Let me tell you where we are with other interviews just briefly. We do not have, I will not be on tomorrow. We will be off tomorrow, thank God. So you guys will have a break from me. We will be back Sunday We do not have an interview Sunday, but I'm working on a Henry County piece. Just waiting for an email to come in on that. So we're waiting on that. And
I don't think she is campaigning, Joey.
What? Oh, no. She's not campaigning at all. I know that Josh and Joan have been doing a Where is Lisa ordeal where they drive around on a golf cart and they ask random citizens if they know where Lisa Friend is. And then
where in the world?
They've been passing out these literature things that say, like, where's Lisa? So,
like missing persons posters?
Yes. Yeah. Hold on. Kate's getting it. Kate's going to put it up on the screen for us.
That's hilarious.
I thought I had it in here, but we must have taken it out.
What do you mean, Stumblefoot? Who've been on here so far?
What did he say?
He said, so what are we now, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats? You mean like people who've been interviewed so far?
No.
Like 3 Dems and a Republican, right?
3 Dems and a Republican.
Republicans need to step it up.
Yeah, they need to step it up. I should know about a couple more Republicans this weekend still yet. And yeah, I've still got more people to know. Get. So yeah, that we've got, oh, here it is. Missing person, Lisa Friend Teal, last seen May 2023. Lisa gets paid by tax dollars to represent Winchester District 4, but Lisa has moved out of the state. Lisa is still getting paid and has not done her job in over 6 months. Lisa is on the ballot for this November and lives in another state. She has not been replaced yet because they're hoping you vote for straight ticket so she wins. That way they can replace her with a person no one voted for. Vote Joan Ashley.
Oh, this is pretty good. It's pretty good little campaigning tool right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
That is really pretty gold.
I'll tell you what, I would vote Joan Ashley if I could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Also, while you were gone, we did this interview.
Oh, yeah.
Hoosiers for Medical Liberty, Watchdogs, purpose to hold legislators and all government accountable for actions and words, responsibility, employer-employee relationship with legislator, in-person meeting once a year, 2 or 3 other points of dialogue, in-person, email, or phone, report to the PAC and your community. Join the PAC. Text 260-286-0988. The word watchdog.
Watchdog. I got something from her today where they're like, it's like a survey on like what we want Hoosiers for Medical Liberty to focus on stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then the last thing I'll post up here is then, of course, the 2023 municipal election candidate interviews, Muncie, Newcastle, Winchester, Anderson, Indy, anywhere in between, any and all candidates running for office in this current 2023 election season. We will be reaching out to you. However, if you are interested, please submit an email to that email there below with your name, office you are running for, and your contact number. The political spotlight. There you see that. That's that.
Where's our Winchester folks at?
I'm going to get them. I know that a good portion of them are some of, well, at least half of them are open to it. So yeah. I'm gonna get them. I've just been trying to get through some of the harder shit. Yeah, some of the people that are a little bit more hard to deal with. So we will get them on here, but yeah, that's that. I want to ask everybody, of course, if you have not liked this episode, please like it. Hit the bell. You can't hit the bell until you subscribe, so hit the subscription bell. Subscribe and then hit the bell. I'll say it eventually. Thank you for your comments. Please share the show with everyone you know. And I appreciate both Brandons for popping on and talking with us. Brandon Rudd, as always, and Brandon Garrett for the interview. The postscript is what?
Yeah, sometimes I don't understand her sign language.
Oh yeah, you need to do the PS tonight.
Oh, is that what she's saying?
Yeah.
Hi, this is Jerry Springer, and for my final word today, I'll say the incumbent advantage sucks. Don't fall for that weapons grade balonium. Hold your officials accountable, and don't vote for the incumbents ever.
Well, sometimes you can, I guess.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, if they're incumbent, you should know what to expect from them because they've already been in there.
Yeah.
Don't let them bullshit you with little magic tricks in sleight of hand.
Yeah, if they suck, stop them.
Yeah.
And don't vote for any sucky candidates, I guess.
Exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. We'll see Brandon again here soon, and we'll see all the rest of you on Sunday. Good night.
Music is blocking.
Hey, you like this new music?
Yeah, where do you get this?
I just stumbled upon it. Watch what happens here.
If you're not getting blocked, you're not trying hard enough. No one tries harder than Stumble, but
right. Going to go. Hi, Eric.
Yeah, take it
Eric
easy,
Lewis, the only Lewis we like here.
Yeah. Only one that's not pretending to be Paul sister.
Now let's not have it here.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
You will get paid again. You get paid every month. You get the election, you will win. You'll be on there. Winchester has a city council meeting this Sunday.
Oh yeah, Winchester City Council meeting. Eric will be there, I'm sure.
Good night.